fighting for the values that make Nebraska the good life. This is Drive Time Nebraska with Doug Fitzgerald on 1499.3 KLIN.
Well, another way to go. As a matter of fact, a couple of way to goes to the Lincoln Public Schools staff and to the Lincoln Police Department. I'm going to get to that in just a couple minutes. I want you to call or text in. You can comment as well on social media. Call or text the Summit Lawn Talk and Text line, 402-479-1400. Comment on social media, any of our 8 social media feeds on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, and more. Well, Tuesday, the Lancaster County Commissioners voted 5-0 to approve the NextEra solar complex to be built on 2,400 acres of land just east of Hallam. I am so disappointed. We haven't had a chance to dig into this yet, and today, guess what? We do. I don't understand why it was unanimous. That's the one thing I don't understand. I'm going to dig into this. I'm also going to give you, all right, I'm going deep on this one. I've got some audio from Sean Flowerday from the meeting on Tuesday. And then I'm going to give you specifics. Companies, organizations, PACs that donated money, campaign money to Chelsea Johnson and Christ Yoakum. I'm going to give you names and dollar amounts. And I think when you get to the final dollar amount for Chelsea Johnson, I think you're going to get blown away, because I was. So we're going to dig into those as well. Question is, are our commissioners getting paid off? And that's what we're going to look at today. Again, you can call or text in 402-479-1400. All right, back to the way to goes for Lincoln Public Schools and for the Lincoln Police Department. Yesterday, and like Wyatt and I were talking about earlier, Wyatt's like, man, things are getting crazy. Yesterday, a 26-year-old man armed with a knife broke into McPhee Elementary School, and that's the one near the Capitol, prompting the school to put the kids on lockdown. At 1:31 in the afternoon, Lincoln police were called to the school on reports of a man trying to break into the school. The man first used a knife to break the outer pane of a double-paned window that leads into a classroom on the north side of the building. The classroom was occupied with kids and a teacher. The teacher quickly evacuated the students. Way to go. The man was unable to break the second pane of the window. Then he moved to the main entrance of the school on the west side of the building, where he entered the foyer and used an unsecured bike to smash a set of windows directly besides the locked glass door that leads to the school. The man was able to get into about 10 feet into the hallway before police officers came and arrested him. He was obviously taken away. Thank God no one was injured, number one. They haven't released who the man is, his name yet, at least as far as I know. He hasn't been charged yet, but it looks like charges will be terroristic threats, use of a weapon to commit a felony, misdemeanor, criminal mischief, and so forth. The students were on lockdown during the incident, meaning they were kept inside their classrooms, out of sight, lights turned off. And then the school went out of lockdown about 16 minutes after that, apparently, and then they were dismissed around 3:38. The police, get this, the police got there within 2 minutes. So here's my way to go. Way to go, Lincoln Public School staff, teachers trained, took action immediately, didn't hold back, protected the kids. Way to go. Great training, obviously, courage by the teacher. I couldn't imagine how afraid those kids were. Way to go, number 2, Lincoln Police Department. 2 minutes? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Love the Lincoln Police Department. So, bad situation, good news, and great outcome. All right, how about a way not to go? I haven't done a way not to go on the show yet. All right, way not to go. Barb Bear, who has served on the Lincoln Public School Board since 2005, has filed for re-election for a 5th 4-year term. This would be 20 years. Representing Northwest Lincoln, District number 3, setting up a match with newcomer Andrea Evans, the Lincoln nonprofit founder. Both Evans and Bear are registered Democrats. Throughout her time on the board, Bear said that the district has, she's accomplished a lot. She says from passing multiple bond issues, of course, taking your money, to multiple construction of new schools, opening of the Career Academy, formation of Safe Successful Kids Interlocal Board. Don't know what that is. She said she's proud of the work she's done so far on the board, and that she's not done yet. With 4 seats up for grabs this year, Bear hopes to bring some more consistency, she says, to the board. Quote, and I want you to listen to this. Quote, I feel as though my role on the board, school board, can help continue to bring the kind of positive change that we need, she told the Journal-Star. If reelected this spring, Bear plans to continue, listen close, continue advocating for the needs of all students and to be a champion for the students in the LGBTQ community. How about this? How about be an advocate for all students? And how about this? Be a champion for all students. I'm just saying. Then she goes on to say she wants to keep a watchful eye on the potential of, and we were just talking about this as well, Wyatt, school to prison pipeline. And she's consistently voiced her concerns about disproportionately having kids in prison or in jail among the students. How about we work with the parents to work with their kids? You got to read between the lines in all this. How about we stand up for all students and not just single out one group of students and say, I'm going to be a champion for them? Because if somebody else came out and said, I'm going to be a champion for another category of students, there would be an uproar within the community. Here's the thing. I think there are 4 seats available that are up for election. Get out there and run. Incumbents must file by February 17th and non-incumbents by March 3rd. The top 2 candidates in each race will advance from the April 8th primary election to the general election on May 6th. Let's get somebody other than these 2 Democrats in that district. That'd be great. District 3. If you're in District 3 and you're listening, run. All right, let's take a break here. And I'm going to get after it here. We're going to take our first break. When we come back, I'm going to give you specific campaign funds received by Chelsea Johnson and Christ Yoakum from energy companies and other organizations. I'm going to give you names. I'm going to give you numbers. And we're going to find out about Christ Yoakum's answer to the commissioner attorney's requirements to answer whether the commissioners had contact and conversation with any of the energy companies that testified last week. I think you'll be interested in her answer. If you got a question or comment, call or text 402-479-1400. Thanks so much for listening to Drive Time Nebraska.
Getting the whole story.
Always accurate coverage.
1499.3 KLIN.
You always have a standing invitation to Calvary Community Church.
We make sure that we stress that everybody is welcome to partake with us, whether they're members or not.
You are encouraged to grow with God.
It's those little things. We're different. We're setting ourselves apart, which is what God calls us to do.
You're welcome here, whoever you are.
When you're part of a church like Calvary, they make you feel that love, and you can't run away from it.
Calvary Community Church, mycalvary.org.
We're for people's hearts. We want to make sure that they get to go to heaven and be with God for eternity.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
Enjoy your life at Fallbrook Assisted Living and Memory Care in Lincoln. Here's Megan Hayes, Sales Director.
At Fallbrook, we promote a lifestyle where you choose, encouraging friendships, flavorful meals, and supportive care when you need it. We're all about you and helping you feel at home. We invite you to enjoy your life at Fallbrook Assisted Living and Memory Care. Call us for a tour.
Apartments are available. Visit fallbrookassisted.com, an MJ Senior Living community.
You're listening to Drive Time Nebraska with Doug Fitzgerald. Disagree with Doug? The guests? The topic? Call or text 402-479-1400 now to be a part of the show. KLIN weather brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Mostly clear and cold this evening with the temperature dropping into the low teens by midnight. After midnight, mostly clear to partly cloudy, cold. Temperature rising to the mid-teens by sunrise. Friday, partly to mostly cloudy, milder and breezy. High temperature in the mid-40s. From the 1011 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Brandon Rector.
KLIN Time Saver Traffic, delivered by Paisanos, Lincoln's best brick oven pizza.
On the downhill side of our drive time traffic, no new accidents or major delays. Most traffic moving well. A few volume slowdowns, and we do have a few construction projects. We'll want to use caution as we move through and around. Keep in mind, Vine Street, 22nd to 23rd, westbound lane closure for a water service project. West A Street, Southwest 30th to Southwest 27th, that is closed for a paving project. Local access only. Make sure the headlights are on. If you come across anything that slows you down, call the traffic hotline 402-479-1414. Keeping you moving with Time Saver Traffic. I'm Chris Lofgren.
Raising the roof on the issues that truly matter to Nebraskans, with the occasional net violation. You're listening to Drive Time Nebraska with Doug Fitzgerald on 1499.3 KLIN.
All right, yesterday I shared my personal news about my future with Drive Time Nebraska. Finishing up next Friday will be my last show. So if you want to go back and listen to that, check out the podcast at klin.com. Well, go to until we figure out something. We had like little demons attack our podcast feed last night. So you can go on Facebook or YouTube and check out the video until we get that posted. But it'll be at klin.com. And I think there are a few commissioners that'll probably be glad that next Friday is my last show, because I'm not letting this one go. This will be my last rant. I'm standing on this one until next Friday. But Tuesday of this week, the Lancaster County Commissioners voted 5-0 to approve the NextEra solar complex. It's going to be built 2,400 acres east of Howland. We've been talking about this one. Huge solar farms, dubbed the Panama Energy Center. That's what they're calling it. It's going to be run by the Florida-based NextEra Energy Resources, the largest operator of wind and solar projects. This is big. This is a big one. Commissioners delayed last week's vote, originally scheduled for January 14th, because dozens of people showed up. I mean, that meeting for that hearing went from 9 a.m. till like 3 or 4 p.m. Did the commissioners listen? No. Nope. They voted 5-0 to push it through. Well, prior to the vote, the board's lone Republican, Matt Schulte, failed a motion to deny the special permit due to a lack of a second. So Matt said, hey, you know what? I want to vote against this. Nobody would second it. So they continued to carry it on. And seeing that there was no interest, quote, Matt Schulte said, in denying the permit, I want to make this project the best possible for the people in the neighborhood, since the motion failed. So he went ahead and submitted another amendment. It allowed for, like a larger distance between the property owners and the actual project itself, vegetation, drainage. He also wanted to make sure that any parts of the manufacturing process were not done through Chinese companies, which I think is great. I think a lot of that passed. Then Commissioner Chair Rick Vest introduced an amendment which would require compensation for landowners who may be surrounded by the project on 3 or more sides. And he specifically named the landowners who testified in opposition that he believed would qualify. And I thought, I suppose if we're going to let it go through, those who are really impacted, and we had them here in the studio, right? Impacted all 3 sides of a new home that they just purchased a year ago, business going in. So he submitted this. And in a divided vote, this amendment failed 3-2. With Sean Flowerday, Christa Yoakum, and Chelsea Johnson, of course, voting no. Here is Sean Flowerday's response to this amendment that he voted against.
It also, I feel like we're picking winners and losers here. And I do agree that these are people who are going to be impacted by the project probably more than others. But I'm not with you here on this one.
Sean Flowerday. Did you just say that with that amendment, you feel like you're picking winners or losers? Are you kidding me? Sean Flowerday, are you kidding me? You are the very one who has picked the winners and losers in this situation. And I'm going to dig into this today. I cannot believe you said that. Just keep your mouth shut. Like, that's what you should have done. Say, Commission Chair Vest, sorry. Can't agree with you on this. Got to vote no. But no, you had to say you feel like you're picking winners and losers. Oh boy, I'm digging in this today. All right, let's talk about winners and losers. All right. And I've been talking about this, my top concern as a host of this show, as we look at politics, following the money and putting the right people in the right place, specifically in our trifecta, city council, school board, county commissioners. Why? Impacts our day-to-day lives. I've shared with you that Commissioners Chelsea Johnson and Christa Yoakum have received campaign finance dollars from the very energy companies involved in this process. Well, during the hearing last week, NextEra Panama Energy reps were asked if they contributed to their campaigns. Christa's, Chelsea's, maybe anybody else on the board. Did you contribute? And I'm going to play their response. But I'm also going to dig more into this, of where all the campaign money for Commissioner Chelsea Johnson and Commissioner Christa Yoakum came from in the past election. Names and numbers coming up. We have way too much money coming from outside of the state of Nebraska, impacting our daily lives here. And the very people who live here, Sean Flowerday, Christa Yoakum, Chelsea Johnson, you should be the very one standing up saying, listen, why are you wanting to impact our day-to-day lives so much? I know why. It's power and money. And it's not just millions of dollars that influence the governor's race, the senator race, the congressional races. It's this political trifecta. Little back history like I've shared before. Chelsea Johnson ran against Republican David Russell. A few weeks before the race, Chelsea Johnson's campaign just went all out negative. All these, I think I got 5 or 6 postcards in the mail, made David Russell look like the evil villain. He's not, by the way. Super guy, super family guy. And during that time, I was made aware of the website where you can find out where all the money's coming from for the campaign finances. Nebraska Accountability and Disclosure Commission website. I did some addition, got my calculator out. Wyatt, it took me a little bit of time to do it. I had to go back through primary in the campaign. Chelsea Johnson, this is to the penny. Chelsea Johnson received $242,633.82 for this campaign. David Russell, a little over $17,000. Chelsea Johnson's big chunk from out of the state. David Russell, I believe all from in-state. Something wrong. And that's where I made this connection. Dug into the back, who's campaigning? Oh, I see NextEra's giving money to Chelsea Johnson, Panama Energy. Then I'm like, oh, what about Krista's? Oh, yeah, she got money from them too. I've been harping on it for 3 months. So let's go back to this. Before we take our break here, let's play this one. Again, at the last hearing, parties involved got confronted. Commissioner Matt Schulte asked Panama Energy developer Matthew Jones, who was standing right there in the hearing in front of all these people testifying against it for 6 hours, and David Levy, a Lincoln attorney from Baird Holm Law Firm, who is representing Panama Energy, asked if they had donated to any of the commissioner campaigns for the past election. Here's the question, and here's the answer.
My final kind of topic that I'd like to ask you about, campaign finance was brought up. Did you or PEC or NextEra contribute to campaigns of county commissioners?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
You're not aware of contributions on September 6th to two county board members from Panama East?
We donate, I guess, to politically across the spectrum to candidates that support us. We do what we can to,
I don't know.
Yeah, look, we won't guess at the answer. It sounds like you've got information there, and
yeah,
so
$12,500 given to two county commissioners, who then, the day after the election, you guys applied for this permit. That's just really problematic for the public to look at that and feel like this is not buying votes. Do you see that? Can you see how that'd be problematic and potentially create a conflict of interest for county commissioners when considering this?
I understand what you're saying, yes.
Okay. All right.
I have more questions related to the vegetation management plan.
Of course, Chelsea Johnson does. She wants to change the subject, right? All right, we're going to take a break here. And when we come back, I'm going to give you numbers, names and numbers. Who gave Chelsea Johnson campaign funds and how much did they give? Oh, there's a list here. You guys want to do this? You want to play this game? Sean Flowerday, do you want to say, feels like we're picking winners and losers? All right. Let's find out what you're actually doing behind the scenes. Thanks so much for listening to Drive Time Nebraska. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes.
Let Lincoln know if your organization or business is impacted by the latest severe weather. Go under the closings tab and sign up at klin.com.
Aging Partners NeighborLink connects volunteers with homebound seniors age 60 and over and persons with disabilities who need additional support. Volunteers will help pick up and deliver groceries, library books, meals, and medications, or maybe a friendly voice who's just checking in. Call 441-7575 or visit neighborlnk@lincoln.ne.gov. Sponsored by the City of Lincoln, Aging Partners, and the Seniors Foundation. NeighborLink, 441-7575.
If you're considering a career in broadcasting, 1400 at 99.3 KLIN and the Nebraska Broadcasters Association Foundation can help you become part of this exciting field.
3 $2,000 scholarships are available to four-year college and university students. They must have completed 30 credits as of May 31st, 2025.
Let us help you reach your career goals. For more information, contact 1400 and 99.3 KLIN.
Or click ne-ba.org. Application deadline is March 1st, 2025.
Why pay more for prescriptions? Stop overpaying and start saving with SingleCare. It's easy. Find your prescription on singlecare.com, show the coupon at the pharmacy, and start saving. SingleCare works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check SingleCare to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to singlecare.com or download the free app today.
You're listening to Drive Time Nebraska with Doug Fitzgerald. More of the show coming up on 1499.3 KLIN. KLIN weather brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Mostly clear and cold this evening with the temperature dropping into the low teens by midnight. After midnight, mostly clear to partly cloudy, cold. Temperature rising to the mid-teens by sunrise. Friday, partly to mostly cloudy, milder and breezy. High temperature in the mid-40s. From the 1011 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Brandon Rector.
KLIN Time Saver Traffic, delivered by Paisanos, Lincoln's best brick oven pizza.
Wrapping up our traffic reports, no new accidents or major delays. Most traffic moving well and getting back to normal. A few volume slowdowns persist, and we do have a few construction projects. We'll want to use caution as we move through and around. Keep in mind Superior 33rd to 31st Street westbound lane closure for a water main repair. And work continues on South 17th from A to G Street. Lane restrictions for a water main replacement project. And 17th from A to B is closed. Make sure the headlights are on. Keeping you moving with Time Saver Traffic. I'm Chris Lofgren.
Tackling the issues that truly matter to Nebraskans head on. With the occasional targeting call, this is Drive Time Nebraska with Doug Fitzgerald on 1499.3 KLIN.
I want to thank our title sponsor, Lincoln Coin and Bullion. Gold and silver are awesome. That's all you need to know. Over 10 years, they've been helping me out. They've been my trusted precious metals team for well over almost 15 years, actually. Good, honest people. They have educated me all along the way. And gold and silver, they've outperformed S&P 500 and all that last 12, 18 months. So something definitely to check into. Also, if you're looking at maybe buying or selling gold and silver that you have, call them up. They work by appointment only through 402-327-2853, or you can go to the website, lincolncoinandbullion.com. All right, well, we've been talking and digging into this whole NextEra solar farm that is going in just east of Hallam. Chelsea Johnson Christ Yoakum, definitely. Yeah, those companies have them in their back pockets. So what I want to do is I want to dig in here. I'm going to give you some specific numbers. I think you'll be interested in this. I was interested in it. But what I want to do too first is kind of walk through some of the names of these organizations so you better understand who they are and how much money they actually gave. So NextEra, obviously we know who they are. Bold Alliance is a progressive political advocacy group funded by Jane Cleve in 2010 in the state of Nebraska. They began a progressive website. They've been very vocal as an opponent to the Keystone XL pipeline, advocate for gay rights, part of the Democratic Party. Cleve is chair, yada, yada, yada. All right, so we know where that goes. They've received funding from Tides Advocacy Fund, a left-leaning donor advised fund based in the United States, averaging and managing over $1.4 billion in assets, and substantially funded by George Soros. All right, how about Climate Cabinet PAC from San Francisco? Left progressive group that uses data science to find under-the-radar politicians and with outsized climate impact. This is off their website. They help high-impact leaders run, win, and legislate on climate change. Worked on over 500 campaigns since 2020. They've won since in 2023 about 75% of their top races, both from the municipal, county, and state offices. San Francisco getting involved in our day-to-day lives. How about Ranger Power? Based out of Chicago, Ranger Power is a renewable energy development company that brings new clean energy projects and investments to communities across the United States, and they work closely with NextEra. How about Nebraskans for Common Ground? Financed primarily by a Washington, D.C.-based League of Conservation Voters, which gave the group at least $500,000. How about Panama Energy? The project's named after them. Obviously, they are involved in this whole energy process as well. Subsidiary of NextEnergy Resources LLC, the world's largest generator of renewable energy from the wind and the sun, and the leader in battery storage. All right, Chelsea Johnson, where did you get your money for your campaign? Let's just go down the list. I'm not going to name individuals. You guys can go to the website and look at all the individuals that gave money. I'm going to do organizations, companies, PACs. Elliot Bostar for legislature, $25,000. That's a nice little hit. James Bowers for Nebraska, $500. Neighbors for Sean Flowerday. Picking winners and losers, Sean, $12,500. Heirs and Heirs, $1,000. Bold Alliance, $40,710.35. Nebraska Farm Pack, $500. Women Who Run Nebraska, $500. Nebraska Great Plains Laborers District Council PAC Fund, $1,000. Lincoln Firefighters Association, $2,500. Lincoln Lancaster County COPE, COPE, $1,000. Nebraskans for Common Ground, $135,000. NextEra Energy, $2,500. Panama Energy, $5,000. Ranger Power, $5,000. Climate Cabinet PAC, $2,500. Need a drink. Overall, $242,633.82. I might be off. It took a long time to dig through those. Of which $150,000 came from outside of the state of Nebraska. Do you want to hear Chelsea Joakum's contributions for her last campaign? Should we save that for after the break or do it right now? Let's do it right now. All right, here we go. Chelsea Joakum. Campaign funds, organizations, not individuals. Larian for Lincoln Mayor, $500. James Bowers for Nebraska, $1,000. Neighbors for Sean Flowerday. Not picking winners or losers. $2,000. Kissel Coet Associates, $1,500. Bold Alliance, $30,729.98. Vote for Vest, Rick Vest, chair of the commissioner board, $500. Women Who Run Nebraska, $500. BNSF Rail Company, $1,000. Lincoln Firefighters Association, $2,500. Lincoln Lancaster County COPE, COPE, $1,000. Nebraska Horsemen's and Benevolent Protective Association, $1,500. NDP, $500. NextEra Energy, $2,500. Panama Energy, $5,000. Ranger Energy and Power, $5,000. Conservation PAC, $23,000. For a county commissioner board. Why? I'll tell you why in a second. Overall total, at least from my calculations, $79,479.98. The conservation PAC, by the way, I was trying to dig in, and a lot of these PACs, they're just individuals that are running these PACs. This PAC is, it gives its address. It's an apartment. It's an apartment. All for a county commissioner board. And we're watching it play out right in front of our eyes with the NextEra Panama Energy Project solar farm. Why all the money? These companies have these commissioners in their hip pockets. Sean Flowerday. Don't feel like picking winners and losers? Oh, it's pretty clear. Here's what I'm going to do. We're going to take a break. Then when I come back, two things. Let's see where Sean's money came from. That'll be good. And then we're going to find out also what Chelsea Joakum said when she had to answer a statement from the commissioner's attorneys to see if they've had any ex parte communication with these companies. I have the audio, and we'll play that all next. Cities from across the state, they are listening to Drive Time Nebraska. We'll get back with all of that good information, nice juicy stuff in just a few minutes.
Got an opinion on the latest Huskers game? Fire off with a voice message in the free KLIN app. You're listening to Drive Time Nebraska with Doug Fitzgerald. Sports Nightly is next on 1499.3 KLIN.
Which room in your home could use new flooring? Carpets Direct is your #1 source for all things floors, providing free in-home estimates, unparalleled service, and a 2-year guarantee. Your home should be your sanctuary, and Carpets Direct has you covered. From plush carpet, luxury vinyl, hardwood, laminate, and sheet vinyl flooring, Carpets Direct is the ultimate flooring destination. Call or visit today, South 48th Street, Lincoln.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit gocurrency.com and apply today.
You're listening to Drive Time Nebraska with Doug Fitzgerald. More of the show coming up on 1499.3 KLIN. KLIN weather brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Mostly clear and cold this evening, with the temperature dropping into the low teens by midnight. After midnight, mostly clear to partly cloudy, cold. Temperature rising to the mid-teens by sunrise. Friday, partly to mostly cloudy, milder and breezy. High temperature in the mid-40s. From the 1011 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Brandon Rector.
Draining threes on the issues that truly matter to Nebraskans, with the occasional technical or two. This is Drive Time Nebraska with Doug Fitzgerald on 1499.3 KLIN.
Bernie and Bill, I know you're both on the line. I know the topics you want to talk about. I am not going to get into those today, but call back tomorrow. Let's continue the conversation tomorrow on the issues that you want to talk about with the legislature, with what the bishop said yesterday. We will get into those. So thank you so much for calling. But yeah, call back tomorrow and we'll open up the lines for that. But I want to keep digging into this Lancaster County Commissioner, I don't know, payouts, ? I mean, it's pretty clear. Went through the numbers, right, for Chelsea Johnson's campaign this last round. She received $242,633.82. 150 of that came from outside of the state of Nebraska. 150,000, that is. And Chelsea Joakum's total, $79,479.98. Supported by many of these same energy companies. Well, the very same energy companies. And then Sean Flowerday. Well, you know what? On Tuesday, Sean Flowerday said this. He was asked to vote for an amendment in regards to this that would compensate from these companies landowners that are really surrounded by at least 3 sides of this solar farm. Not their choice. And here's a response to wanting to compensate them.
It also, I feel like we're picking winners and losers here. And I do agree that these are people who are going to be impacted by the project probably more than others. But I'm not with you here on this one.
So, Sean, you say you feel like in this vote for that amendment that you're picking winners and losers. You contributed immediately to Chelsea Johnson's campaign. Your campaign did. Okay. And we already know that Chelsea Johnson and Christ Yoakum have been bought off by these energy companies. That's very clear. Just went through all the numbers. Let's look at Sean's campaign finances from 2021. I'm not going to go through all this. There's over $50,000, at least this one report. But let's go through a couple of them here. Conservation PAC, $5,000. Guess who the treasurer was for that? This is so inbred. Treasurer Chelsea Johnson. Oh, look at this. Nebraska New Energy Economy PAC. $20,150. And then there's American Communications Group, $500. Onward Lincoln. I don't even know what these are. Some of these PACs, you you try to do some research and they close them down, or they don't even put information up. Or they put information up and then you don't know, you can't find any background info. And they're set up and then they're shut down. Bold Alliance. Oh, I've heard that one before, right? $10,000. Anything else we want to talk about? Oh, there's more. Law firms. Over $50,000. So, Sean, you say, you don't want to vote for a amendment or add an amendment that would compensate some of these landowners that are just getting their lives totally devastated from what they did not choose to have happen around their property, and have these companies that make billions of dollars compensate them on top of just whatever's going on. And you say, nope, can't agree with you on that because it feels like we're picking winners and losers. Seriously. It's very clear you're picking winners and losers. You, Chelsea Johnson, Christ Yoakum. I'm just doing a little scrolling here. Just a little scrolling. Oh, I did see that. Okay. All right. Interesting. So I got in a text. I just want to verify anything before I actually say anything here. So give me just a second here. It appears maybe it's the same David Levy that was the attorney for representing Panama Energy. Maybe not, but it is public domain information. David Levy did donate $400 to Sean Flowerday. Interesting. The same attorney, it looks like, apparently, that represented Panama Energy in the hearing. See how this this is so intertwined. This is a web, my friends. Chelsea Johnson's on the board of LES, Lower Platte South Natural Resources District. I mean, if you keep going in this, I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say at this point. Oh, do you see why it's so important that we have to vet and make a decision when we vote? All right, let's look at this now. During the Lancaster County Commissioners meeting last week, the commissioner attorneys required them to answer whether the commissioners had contact and ex parte, I think that's how you say it. I've seen it, heard it pronounced a couple different ways, ex parte, communication with any of the energy companies that testified yesterday. Ex parte communication is when a person involved in a case communicates with a judge and or other decision maker without the other party's knowledge. In other words, did any commissioner have communication with NextEra or Panama Energy with it being disclosed to everyone involved, including other commissioners and the public? Bottom line, did the commissioners get paid off in some way or paid or compensated in some way by these companies? And what's their communication? Here is what Christ Yoakum, here was her answer to this question.
But we have a few housekeeping issues to deal with on our end, folks. So the first one is this comes from our attorneys, and I need to inquire, each of us needs to answer the question, have we had any ex parte communication between ourselves and any of the parties that have come before us? And I would just start that, and it says who was it with, how were the communication received and general description. We should go through the board and just, Krista, if you would.
I had one email that came directly to me, and I'm sorry, I don't remember who that was from. Otherwise, I had all the ones that came through Commish, through that email address. And my only response, that was a proponent, and my only response was, thank you for sharing this. I had no conversations with the applicant or anyone else since, I don't know, early October, maybe even before that.
Well, it started November 6th, I believe.
I certainly had nothing.
Up, so.
The chair comes in and says, well, this is from November 6th, not before that. I haven't had any communication with them, I guess, since mid-October or before. Oh, wait a second. No, we're talking about November 6th and after, Krista. Oh, my goodness. Somebody called and said it's like a John Grisham movie. It really is. So let me kind of wrap this up in a little bow. Who's a loser here? Let's pick winners and losers. Number one, we are taxpayers, voters. We're losers if we voted for these commissioners. But let me tell you in this situation, Sean Flowerday, who's another loser. Obviously, we've got the landowners, the people that are impacted by this project every single day, all of that. David Russell lost big in this. His reputation, the campaign that Chelsea Johnson ranted against him with this money that came from out of state. Good, upstanding guy, family man, drugged through the mud for no reason other than the power and money. And we can keep going in this. Jeremy Kuhn, who ran against Chris Yoakum, loser. He's not a loser. He lost big in this because outside money wanted to crush David and Jeremy because they wanted to get the solar farm put in place. And yes, of course, again, I appreciate the text. Of course, again, the landowners that don't want this. Man, this is a mess. See why I get so frustrated? It's not hard to dig into this stuff. It's just, you got to know where to dig. And I'm getting all kinds of texts now saying, oh, there's more. There's more to this web. There is more to this web. I'm just putting out there what I know that's public information that I can talk about. But there is a lot more. Sean Flowerday, unbelievable. Feel like you're picking winners and losers. You picked the winners and losers in this. You knew exactly what was going on. Come on. You want to listen to the podcast of the show, go to klin.com. Thanks for the callers, texters. We appreciate it. Wyatt, thank you so much. Appreciate your time here. There's only 82,800 seconds left until tomorrow. Call in. We'll talk about more stuff. Seize everyone. Sports Nightly coming up next. Have a great night. We'll see you on Friday.
From the Momo Pizzeria and Ristorante Studios, we are the voice of Lincoln, KLIN Lincoln.